hello. Welcome to Vinny making noise in the background. Welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland. This is Let Me Bore You to Sleep Q&A Friday. Yes. And I've got a little bit of a different setup. Well, to start with, I'm filming it for some reason. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. I never know why. I never know why I do a lot of things, really. There's some background stuff. I was hoping to have so basically I've got the camera, I've got the window in front of me. So I've got natural light. Now, it just means the background's a little bit messy, a bit. And I'm warm. I ain't got any lights on or nothing. Having the sun shining on my face probably does it, doesn't it? So, what I'm going to do is... Oh, did I say only listen when you can safely close your eyes? Hopefully I did. I'm looking down here because that's where my laptop is, and this is where all the questions are, in case you wondered. So I hope you're well. Just to let you know, I mean, you probably already may be a member, but I got a Jason Newland's boring group on Facebook. Also got a YouTube channel at Jason Newland. That's it, really. I'm sure that takes longer normally. I do also have the website. So I had a few stuff going on with the website, changed things around. And what I've done is it's all been up. It's all back. I did do a recording yesterday, but I decided not to upload it because it, wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. And you may query that, thinking, well, you mean the ones that you actually upload are to your satisfaction? Oh, took Vinny out for a walk for an hour. We're out for an hour. It was nice, lovely. Went out early, about 7:30. Got back about 8:30. It's now 18 minutes past 10. Ooh, gas, lovely. So all the changes I did has all gone back to how it was. So the podcasts are back how they were. The website's back how it was. Everything's back to exactly how it was at the beginning of the week. Yeah, so that's it really. So if you haven't watched or listened or had any contact since the beginning of the week, then there'll be no change. No change. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the recordings, the questions, individually. So today is Friday the 30th of May. How many days is there in this month? 31. Right, so next week, Tuesday. Okay, right. So 31, so it's the first on Sunday, 2025. So the first question I got is from Hope, and it is, what got you interested in... No, wait a minute, I'm doing it from the wrong... I want to do the first ones first. So I'm going to go to Hillary first, because Hillary asked the first question. I just like to do things in a certain order. Hillary. Also, I want to say thank you for the PayPal gift that I received. But I don't know who sent it. I do, but I don't. if that makes sense. There was no email address to reply, and also I was looking through my emails to see, because I would have responded, and I think I'm perhaps going to have to go through Facebook. It just gets like confusing. So if you can contact me, please, so I can say thank you. I think it's just I get confused sometimes, especially when I look in the mirror. Hillary asks, really sad that you're not using the word blimey anymore. Also, what would you do if you won the lottery? Wow. I've had fantasies about this, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So, blimey. I mean, it depends on how much I won. So I guess it's a fantasy, so I might as well win like huge amounts. I mean, you know, 100 grand would be a huge amount to me. 1 million would be a huge amount. But, you know, I'm thinking like, in order to do what I want to do, in order to share it. So the very first thing I would do is I'd probably just maybe give my dad a few quid. Maybe like get together. No, I thought, and this is something that I should have, there's kind of two beginnings to this. The first one is where I say, right, the money, never had money before. So that money's going to, see how red my face is? It's going outside. It's just, I catch the sun. I burn in the winter. Seriously, that's the kind of skin I got. So I like the idea. Wow, see how dusty this is. Blimey, I didn't realise. Is it dusty or is it just the light shining on it? I think it might just be the light shining on it. Ah. Yes, I think there's a bit of both. I think it's the light actually. It probably is dusty as well. So I'm talking about the microphone grip thing at the top for those listening on the podcast. My fantasy is, first of all, to either get everyone together in one place, invite everyone to a party, get them picked up wherever they are in the country, picked up by chauffeur and brought to this place, and then hand out money to everyone. That's like a little fantasy. But I suppose there's another part of me who thinks, well, my best move would be to, I think if I was to win a lot of money, you need to splash out a little bit. You need to have a good time initially to celebrate. Even, you know, I don't mean spend lots of money, but just need to do something, go on holiday, or you know, buy myself a really good camera, or, you know, for videoing. I don't know, something like that. Maybe buy this place. Yeah, something that would be like an initial thing. So that would mean that, because that would give me security in the future. So if I was to blow through it, or at least I'd have a home. But I quite like the idea of just stepping back, going away. I don't necessarily mean a holiday. I always used to think maybe some kind of health club for 6 months or 3 months. Go away from everything. It probably wouldn't be able to do that with Vinny, so I'd have to get rid of him. No. Yeah, this is what I thought about before I had Vinny and Andre. So this is something I thought about a lot over the years. It's a little fantasy I like to just go to sleep to sometimes, just thinking about all the good things I could do, you know. But I thought maybe have a step back instead of, because you know, £1 million is a phenomenal amount of money, but at the same time, if you break it down, it's £3,000 a day for a year, or 3,300, whatever. It's not that much. It'd be easier to spend £3,000 a day just going to really expensive restaurants and stuff like, you know, I mean, if you were buying a really expensive coat, an item of clothing, go and buy a watch, that would cost like 100 grand or 50 grand. You see what I mean? So you could get through it in a year if I wasn't careful. So I'd have to be careful. And I think people who are used to having money are better with money. There's an old saying that if you took, because you know there's this whole thing like why is only 2% of the world got 2% of the world have got something like 95% of the wealth, or 90% of the wealth. But some economic experts have kind of got their heads together and said, well, if you spread all that money out between everybody in the world, that money would still end up back into that percentage. And I can kind of understand that, because to never have had money, it would be, I mean, even to have, so if I like £5,000 would be like winning the lottery in a way, you know. So to step back, and I think this would be a time when I would actually go and listen to my dad. I go to my dad and I get his advice, because he's always been really good with money. So I think I would sweat like I am today. I think the heating's on. Why is the heating on? So it's gone off, but it's not. It's been on. That's why it's hot. Blimey. See? I'm going to try and say it throughout this recording. Blimey, blimey, blimey. I think, so I quite like the idea of going away. So maybe I couldn't go and leave Vinny on his own for any length of time, because you know, it's not fair on him. But I'd definitely do a couple of weeks away. I'd need a holiday. So I'd go away for a couple of weeks, pay someone to look after him here, to stay in my flat for that period of time. I don't know who, but someone that I trusted. Again, I don't know who I could trust to do that, but I'd find someone. And then go away for a couple of weeks just to think things over, just to figure out what I'm going to do next, to plan it, you know. Then I would go, I suppose the first people I would go and see would be my dad. I would try and get my dad to get everyone together, like immediate family. And then I'd speak to my dad first about the money, and I would give him, so if I won lots and lots, then I would give him a big amount. And I would the people I would give money to at the very beginning would be my brother. In fact, I would track down the other two brothers and give money to them as well. And so I'd give money to all three brothers, and then my stepbrother and stepsister give them money. So that would be 6 people. So give money to my dad. I mean, that would be shared with his wife anyway, with my stepmom. So that's for the two of them. So that's six loads of money would be gone. I'd probably then also give money to my first stepmom via my little brother. So give him the money to give to her. And I would also give money to my step uncle, who I haven't seen since I was a teenager, but he was so lovely, so I would give him money, because I think he's, according to my brother, he's not doing so great, so I would, help him out. And then I would go and give money to both my aunties and my uncle. So I kind of work my way down, not down, but like go for the obvious people, even though I don't really have much contact with any of them, but still they're my relatives, so I give them money. Then when I'm thinking it'd be cool if I had like millions and millions and millions, so give them like 50 grand each, because that's a substantial amount to actually potentially make a difference to their life. It might not, but I'm thinking it might, in the sense of they can at least go on holiday, go and tour the world, travel the world, go on a few holidays with that, I imagine. I don't know how much a holiday would be for a couple to go on holiday. I don't know. I've never gone on holiday as a couple. I've never done a cruise. Like, my dad likes cruises. My dad likes to cruise. So I don't know. They can be quite expensive, I know. I'd also, I would like to travel the world on a cruise. But there's no way in the world I'm leaving Vinny. That won't happen while I've got Vinny, because that would be like a 6 month thing, I could go off for the odd week and stuff, which I probably would do, but I'm not gonna leave the little penguin. Just trying to think what's in the background. There's a lot of rubbish in the background here. I might try and edit it so that the background's like blank or blue or green or something. I might try and do that on the video. I don't know how easy it is to do that. So then what I'd do is I would then move to probably aim at cousins. Send money to the cousins that I've had contact with. Maybe even give money to cousins that I haven't seen since I was a kid. Just because they're family, just give them some money. So I've got probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably about 10 cousins. I have contact with one, but there's a couple that I haven't seen for years, but I was very, very close to them. So I'd give them money. I'd also give their mum money as well, because I lived with her for 4 years, and she did help me out. Annoyed the hell out of me, and I annoyed her, but she did help me out. So I do, now I appreciate it. Maybe at the time I did as well, but we just used to annoy each other. So I'd give her money, give her kids money. I give the dad money as well, because I've gotten very well with him as well. So I give all of them money to do what they want with it. So I'd like to, if it was 10 grand even, I'd give something so they could, I'm literally dripping. The radiators aren't on. They're warm, but they're not on, if you know what I mean. I can't, if I got up and turned it off, it wouldn't click because it is turned off. But why did it come on? So that's one way of doing it. And then I would give money to friends. So I'd start with family first. Technically, friends, I would say, possibly is the beginning, because anyone that I see on a regular basis is in some ways closer than family, in a way. I mean, I have more conversations with dog walkers than I do with my own family. But more meaningful conversations as well sometimes. But that's just because no one lives near me, and, you know, I don't go out. I don't travel very far. I'll get myself a chauffeur, and I'll buy myself a very expensive car. I don't know. I think I quite like the idea of having a taxi driver. So if there was someone that I knew that I liked to be my taxi driver and just drive me around if I needed to drive around. This is going to take the whole recording just talking about my fantasies, isn't it? I think taking a step back would be very, very useful. Taking a step back and like, okay, go away for a couple of weeks. I'd have to tell someone. Who would I tell? If I won the lottery, who would I tell? Probably everybody, to be fair. I'd tell you first. I would. You're the first person I'd tell. Obviously have to let the other certain people know. The thing is, I think I'd keep it a little bit quiet, because as soon as, not publicly, but family-wise or friends, I think if I told anyone that I'd won the lottery and it was a big amount of money, wouldn't they expect something from me? I mean, they would be getting something from me, because I couldn't not. You know, it's, how could you not? It's not. I had a friend won £5 grand on a lottery ticket once, and he didn't even buy a meal or nothing. I couldn't have done that. I'd have just at least got a Chinese takeaway for everyone, or took everyone out for a meal. This was where I lived. There was only like 4 of us living there. So I can't take us all out. That's going to cost, what, 100 quid? Back then. This was 1963. I'm trying to think, so that I don't have any big purchases that I would want. Wouldn't want a boat. Not really into this. I like ferries. Or to be on a cruise ship. Love all that stuff. Wouldn't want to be on a boat. So that's a purchase I wouldn't make. Wouldn't buy a plane. If I had a substantial amount of money, then I would start flying first class. I've never flown comfortably before, so that would be definitely something that I would do. What else? I'd want to move away from here. I think I would buy this place, and then I just have it as my. It might sound bad, have it like as a storage, or have it as a. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I'd just move on, get myself a place. Or maybe buy this and just let someone live here for free. I don't know. Because that kind of goes against my ethos. Try not to bang the microphone. Thanks, Finn. He's on the ground. With a council property, it seems kind of wrong for the government or for the councils to sell them, because it doesn't take into consideration future people that are going to need council properties. And you know, in my mind, they shouldn't have ever really been sold off, because council properties were for everyone. They weren't. Now they seem to be aimed at people like me, but they used to be aimed at people that worked. It was for people like my granddad and my dad, that had families, and they had a council house and social housing, and it was just, that's how it was. And in the 80s or whatever, and they kind of started selling them properties off, but they didn't build new places to replace the council houses and the council flats that were gone. I'm not getting into politics, it's just, I don't know, it just seems kind of wrong to buy it, because that's one person less that won't be able to live here. But then it seemed kind of wrong to stay here, which I would be allowed. I don't have to, there's no laws to say that someone with money isn't allowed to have a council flat, as long as you pay the rent, you know. So, but that seems kind of wrong as well. If I had, you know, a substantial amount of money to still be living in a council property, social housing, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't move out straight away. I'd have to see how long the money lasted, you know. So I think from a strategic, so I've got to be strategic, but at the same time realistic, because I'm not in my 30s, am I? You know, it's okay if I could put my money, put half of it or 3/4 of it into some kind of bank account that's going to give me high interest, but it might have to stay in there for 10 years or something silly like that. But I'll be 65 when I can get that money out. You know, there's no guarantees, is there? So I don't know if I would want to necessarily do that. I think, Hillary, you was more interested in what silly things I would do, aren't you? I think, possibly. What silly things would I do? I would definitely not have the heating on in the summer. It's nearly June. Why is the heating come on? Mind you, it has been cold. It's been cold at night, and then it's just, the temperatures change. For anyone that's never been to this country, we have seasons, but we have multiple seasons in one day sometimes. And it might sound silly, but ask anyone that lives here and they will tell you the same thing. You know, it can feel like winter, summer, autumn, all in one day. It like changes. The day can start off frosty and ice on the cars, and then by 1 o'clock in the afternoon it could be steaming sun and people are walking around in their shorts and little nipple tassels and stuff. And then in the evening it can be kind of like really windy and blowing winds off. Autumn. Not fall, autumn. I don't know where it comes from. Which came first, autumn or fall? I wonder whether fall was just invented in order to make that rhyme, you know? For people to remember what's what, for when the clocks go forward. Do you know that one I'm talking about? No? Spring back. Fall back. Fall back, spring forward. So you put the clocks forward in spring and the clocks go an hour back in fall. But it makes no sense in this country because we don't use the term fall. We use autumn. my friend used to love it. Like when I say, "Oh, how many days in this year? How many days in this month?" Bearing in mind it's the 30th today, so all I'm asking is this the last day of the month, or is there one more day? You know what? He wouldn't just say, "Oh, there's one more day." No. April, May, and June, November, 40 days, 30 days in September, whatever that stupid rhyme is. I said, so how many days in this month? I just told you, January, February, in November. I'm not listening to you. Could you just tell me how many days are in them? And in the end, I just have to go on my phone and look. It's like, I wasn't at school on that day. It's not in my head. I'm sorry. It's like when, do you ever get someone that you're talking to, someone like, and you say, "Oh, what's their name?" I forget their name. And they said, "It's Ian." The person's name's Ian. I don't know why you're telling me that. You're telling me like I'm supposed to remember. If I didn't know by now, why am I going to remember because you've said it? Like, I don't care what the name is. I don't know what the name is. When I say I don't know, I'm not asking what it is. I don't know. And I still don't know. But I told you it's Ian. I still don't know. I mean, I know now, but I won't know after this conversation's gone. Actually, after that conversation, I probably did remember it because I just said Ian. Because it was an annoying conversation. Yeah, there's some method in that one, isn't there? I suppose that makes sense. So, if I won the lottery, plastic surgery probably. I don't know. I wouldn't. I think I'd try and get myself a bit fitter, and maybe get some professional help with that. I get some professional therapy as well, because I'm not sure how I would deal with being wealthy. But ultimately, I want to continue doing this. So this is the only thing that has any meaning to me. Which is weird, because some would argue this is a completely meaningless thing that I do. But for me, it's the only thing that gets me out of bed and gives me any kind of enthusiasm or interest. Like continuously. There's when boxing's on, there's a big fight, I'm interested in that, and when there's a chocolate bar in front of me about to go in my mouth, I'm interested in that. But I mean, like, continuous since 2006, making videos, making recordings, and going all the way back to 1997 or 98, when I first got involved in this whole thing. So I don't know. There's so many different things. I'd like to help as many people as I can, ultimately. And that might involve getting some professionals involved with this thing that I do, getting a proper quality setup, recording studio, TV studio, whatever, to make the videos, make the audio, have professionals doing the editing and all that stuff, and maybe reach a larger audience and perhaps help more people be bored. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I quite like the idea of right at the beginning when I said, have a party, get everyone together, get everyone that I've known, and this includes people that I'm not even friends with anymore. So I got a friend in Nottingham who doesn't like me anymore, but I do appreciate the friendship we had, 20, 30 years ago. So, and he did help me out back then, so I would give him money. I would probably even try and contact a couple of ex-girlfriends and give them money. I think anyone that's been a girlfriend with one of my girlfriends deserves a bit of my lottery win, to be fair, having putting up with me for that time. My 2 goddaughters, who I don't really see anymore, they're not official goddaughters, but because I'm a Buddhist, so the mother wouldn't do it. She wouldn't allow me to officially be a godfather. But I was kind of in that same way I was for a while. So I would give them some money, help them out. And try and find people from the past and also help them out. So even like my best friend from school that I haven't seen since I was 18, 19, I'd give him money. In fact, there's a few that I would give money to. Even if it was, I don't have to see them, I just send them money. I get some kind of an accountancy firm to go and give them the cash and get them to sign for it and stuff and film it. I don't necessarily want to be there when it's done. And I would also get a private investigator, pay a private investigator, like a top one, to just do some research and look into my family history on my mother's side and start seeing whether I've got any brothers or sisters or anything like that, any family that's around, because that's half of my gene pool, isn't it? So that'd be interesting. I'd like to also get that person to find any social services information about me when I was in care. I'd like to see those notes. I'd like to see the records if they kept them. These are 70s, so I don't know if they'd still have them now. But I did get an freedom of information thing with because I'd seen a psychiatrist back in 2013 and 2014, something like that. And I'd had a lot of problems with a couple of psychiatrists who were very rude to me, very dismissive, and almost one even looked in disgust at something I'd said. It's like, ugh. So I thought I would ask for all the notes that have been written about me, and it was quite eye-opening stuff. And also, it was rude, some of the stuff that they wrote down. So I'm wondering if I could try and do that with notes from a long time ago. So I'd need professional help with that. A lot of people say that I need professional help. So that's that. I could go on and on and on and on, because there's lots of different things that I would like to do. But I still like to continue what I'm doing, really. But just have a nice life. Do some nice things, Have some nice clothes. I don't know. hair transplant, maybe. I don't know, something like that. Michelle asks, when you aren't recording, do you have conversations with Vinny or just quiet? Yeah, I talk to him all the time. It's quieter than when I'm doing a recording. I mean, that's true. There's not a lot of... He does sleep quite a lot. But we do chat. I do talk to him as if he can understand. I don't know. I mean, he's asleep now, right to the left of me. He's fast asleep on the floor. Which is weird that he chooses to sleep right next to me, because there's this comfy sofa over there. And if you see just down there, there's a yellow... It was originally the throw for the settee, so that he could sit on that while I did a video. But it's really comfortable. It's on the floor. Can't believe how red I look. Can't even see my face. The light is... No. I can see my face, but it just looks one big, like a tomato. Yeah, I do talk to him. I quite like it when he turns his head like that. You know, that's when I know I've got his full attention. Another thing he does do is when I'm watching TV, he will sit up on his bum and look at me because he wants something, whether he wants a TREEEET or a WALK. But what he does is he sits there, stares at me, and I kind of try and move my feet or my elbow, my leg elbow, my knee up, so it blocks him, and he walks around the other way to stare at me. Doesn't make a sound. He just stares at me, and he can do it for hours. Seriously, he doesn't give up. He just stares. That's very weird. That's when I sort of say, what is it you want? What is it you want, darling? What is it you want? And I go through different things, and he's just like nodding his head from side to side, like one ear flapping. So yeah, I do talk to him. I don't know if he likes me talking to him. I don't know, but he doesn't like me leaving him. Doesn't like me leaving him on his own. That's for sure. The other day, I think it was yesterday, I had a Amazon package, and all I did was go to the front door. So I closed the living room door, went to the front door, opened the front door, got the package, brought it in. It was just some toothpaste, some deodorant, I can't remember what. Oh yeah, some dog food as well. So I put that. It's just 2 boxes. I put them on the floor, closed the front door, locked it, and went into the bathroom. I need to go to the toilet, and he starts like that. It's like, Vinny, I'm here. Vinny, I'm actually here. I'm in the bathroom. It's like almost like his ears had switched off, and he just decided that I'd left him, which I hadn't. Sometimes, right, and this is really, it's a bit silly really, when I've got to take the rubbish downstairs, he'll start, and what I do is I talk to him all the way while I'm going downstairs. Vinny, I'm still here. And he's quiet, listening. Vinny, I'm still here. And it's like, I shouldn't have to do that. He's a baby, I guess. He's still a little baby. He'll always be a baby, won't he? He'll always be my baby. Karina, have you ever been to Ireland? And if so, did you like it? Yes and no. No, yeah, I have been to Ireland twice. I'm 48% Irish, you know. I am 48% Irish. Officially. I had my DNA test done. We may be related. I went to Ireland. Basically, I went to live, but it didn't really work out, so I came back after about 5 weeks. But I moved to Ireland in probably September 1994. A long time ago. And what happened is my best friend Andre, who Andre was named after, my little ferret was named after him. He was Irish, lived in Carlow, County Carlow. That's where his family came from. Now, his sister was living with another friend of mine, and Andre was living with them too. Then someone came onto the scene and really kind of shook things up, and Andre ended up getting sacked for something that he was kind of egged on to do. It was like it's a silly situation, but it was a health and safety issue, so they kind of probably had no choice. But he went downhill from there, and he moved in with this bloke that we worked with, and he was just drinking all the time, and it was just, he kind of went off the rails. His mum came to visit, stayed with his sister, and when she saw him, her little boy, I mean, he was 24 at the time, but when she saw what a mess he was, she said, "You're coming home with me." Like, no choice. She said, "That's it, you're coming home. You're not living like this." Because he was sleeping in a was it a sofa bed downstairs, and yeah, she said, "You're not living like this. All you're doing is drinking." And so they were here for about 2 weeks. I mean, she wasn't holding his ear or anything, like, "Come on, you." But he just did what she said. And he didn't want to leave me, really. However sad or weird that might sound. But his mum invited me to go and stay there in Ireland. I didn't go at the same time as them because I don't know why. I can't remember exactly why. But I think I needed to sort a few things out first. And I was in a relationship as well. I think I went to tell her. I think I had to go and tell her that I was moving to Ireland. I was going to I did keep the relationship going, but there was absolutely no contact between us. So it wasn't really a relationship, I suppose. And it kind of sizzled out to nothing anyway, because we weren't anywhere near each other. So she did call me while I was in Ireland to tell me she'd met someone else. And, I was kind of like, "Who is this? Who is this?" She said, "I'm your girlfriend." I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot we were dating." So it wasn't really a big deal. When I did move back, I visited and met him, and he was cool. Got on really well with him. It was one of those things. It had run its course, I guess. But I went to Ireland. I got the ferry there. Got a lift back in the back of a van. But it was one of those vans with no windows in the back, so I didn't see anything. I didn't know where I was going. I don't know why they blindfolded me. And to start with, we was in Carlow, but we weren't at his parents'. We was at his other sisters and her husband. So we both stayed there for that night. Then I went to his mum's house, or she might come and picked us up. So I met his dad and his mum for the first time. Although his mum might have been there No, I can't remember. But I think I met his dad for the first time. His dad, it was weird because his dad was very, very tough man. They were kind of the tough family of the town, the Dooleys at the time. And the weird thing about it is his dad, I think his dad thought I was quite funny. And also, because I wasn't intimidated by him, I'm just a huge, strong man. And I probably weighed about, 9.5 stone probably at the time. Maybe 10 stone, if that. And it was a huge, honestly, big, strong man and tough guy in that. And he used to say things to me, probably expecting me to, I don't know, maybe be intimidated or whatever, and I just laughed at him. And because I think he just found that funny, that I didn't care. I wasn't bothered, which I wasn't. Just, I don't really get intimidated generally. Perhaps I should. But I got on quite well with him. We even went to the dogs, because he used to train greyhounds, and we went to the dogs together. He took me. It was I'd never been to anything like that before, and bearing in mind I couldn't understand only every fourth word he said, because he was speaking so fast, but I still managed to do it. I still managed to, I don't know, adapt my ears, I guess. So we got on all right. I mean, he might have just been verbally abusing me the whole time and I just didn't realise it because I couldn't understand what he was saying. So here's me just laughing and he's thinking, "You're crazy, what the hell are you? He's not scared of me, why?" I don't know. But his mum was nice, his dad, I got on with his dad, his dar. And it's weird, I remember that house because it was it a bungalow? I think it was a bungalow. Either it was a bungalow or it wasn't. I only remember 3 rooms in the house. I don't remember the bathroom. Now, I was there for 5 weeks, so I must have gone to the toilet at some point. But I remember my room, and it was, did I just pick my ear then, didn't I, in camera? I wonder what else I've done. Have I picked my nose? Probably as well. Sorry. Oh well. I remember it was cold. I mean, it was September, but September's not normally cold, really. But over there it was cold, and lots of blankets, but very quiet. Where they lived is literally in the countryside. I mean, I live in the countryside now, but they lived in the countryside. I mean, it's like as countryside as you can get. Across the road, country. Just trees everywhere. So you could hear frogs farting, it was that kind of thing. And so quiet. And having lived in London for quite a long time at that point, it was the first time really that I'd ever had a quiet night. A bit like now, it's not normally this quiet, but it's quiet today for some reason. And I'm making the best of that opportunity to do a recording. I remember the kitchen, because quite a big kitchen, and there was a table, and they would eat. They'd have breakfast. I think it was a cooked breakfast. Then they'd have lunch. Then they'd have dinner, like evening meal. Then they'd have supper. I think the lunchtime I'd get my own stuff because I'd be gone, I'd be out of the house. But there'd be supper before going to bed, like an hour or so before going to bed. Never done that before. I might have a packet of crisps or some biscuits, but I'd never have food. And I probably put on a little bit of weight when I was out there. And then I remember the living room, because they had a nice living room. They had a TV, they had Sky, satellite stuff. And me and Andre would sit and watch The Simpsons, and would also watch Star Trek, The Next Generation. And at some points we'd also watch Wonder Woman. With the volume down, but we would watch it. And I remember when I first got there, and I think Andre, his mum said something like, "What do you like to do?" And Andre said he likes to read, and she said, "You're one of them readers, are you? You're one of them readers." And I said, "Yeah, I do." At that point, I had no books anymore, but previous to that, I'd had a large book collection. I've had lots of large book collections over the years. If I had all my books now, right from a kid, right till now, that I've ever bought, I would probably have about 5,000 books, I'd say. Probably. Maybe not that many, but a good few thousand. It would fill this room, and the room next to me, and the hallway. It would fill the entire flat with books. There's a lot of books. Vinny's moved over in front of me to the left so I can see him. So he was behind me before, but now I can see him, and he's listening. He's got his eyes open, and he's listening to me. Aren't you? You're listening to me. I know you're listening. He's even moving his head, like pretending not to listen, pretending to be asleep, but I can see he's got his eyes open. I know what he wants, but I'll get something for him when I finish this. So I lived there for... Oh yeah, his mum said, "Oh, you like books then, do you?" I said, "You're one of them there book readers." I said, "Okay." "Yeah." She said, "Well, I've got books if you want to read anything." And they had a bookcase full of books. I said, "It's not really how it works." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I don't just read anything. I read books I'm interested in. I don't just read anything for the sake of it." The thing is, they had a really good book collection, and it was full of stories, and really good stories like Sherlock Holmes and stuff like that, and just like really good. It's like these were good books. So I felt a bit of a knob having said that, but me and Andre started looking for somewhere to live. And a couple of things happened. A couple of things that kind of put me off being there, to be honest. One thing was, whenever I went out, I seemed to get blokes try and kind of start trouble with me because I was from England. I remember I was at the cubicle and there was two lads either side of me saying, "Oh, I hear you're from England." Like, well, first of all, how do you know? And I said, "Yeah." "Oh, England's crap." I said, "Yeah, I know. That's why I moved out of there. That's why I moved away." They didn't know what to say because I agreed with them. But I don't know, didn't really sit very well with me. And there was one time when there was literally a street fight with everybody fighting over nothing. And I'm just standing there looking, and no one's touching me, no one's coming near me. It's so weird. Everyone's so nice during the day in that town. So, like, so what? So, like, that's just our way of saying hello. Okay. So, everyone nice. And then they go, this is what it seemed like at the time. Obviously it's not everywhere is the same, and it's maybe not the same now. But then they go out on a Saturday night and kind of air their grievances, kind of, sort it out. It seemed to be that's what happened, and it seemed to be quite a regular thing in that place at that time. And then the next day, everyone was fine again. But few of them would have black eyes and stuff, saying so to each other. So I don't know. I found that a bit strange. It's not what I was used to, not what I had sort of really. I'd not experienced that before. Another thing is I kind of fell for Andre's cousin, not Jason, but Michelle. Was it Michelle? Oh my goodness, blimey! I don't know. I know he had a cousin called Jason because he was the size of a house. He was only young. I think he was like 19. And, well, I was young as well, wasn't I? And maybe he was 17, 18. So I'm in this coffee shop in town. And, I mean, literally, the sun went out. The sun wasn't... Because the sun was shining in through the doorway. And I looked back, and he was there, and he took up the entire doorway. He was that big. I mean, he was tall, and, I mean, he was just a huge man. Slim as well, but just big, and his sister kind of got to know, because we hung around with them a little bit, and he had a couple of other cousins as well that we would hang around with. And because he grew up with them all, and then he went to England and didn't see them for a while. I liked his sister. His cousin, my friend's cousin. I liked his cousin, and we kind of used to spend some time together when we were out drinking, and she'd be talking to me, sitting next to me and stuff. But I never had the courage to kind of ask her out. I didn't know if she would or not, and I don't know. Anyway, I think that same night as the big thing that happened, the big punch up, whatever, I saw her in the street kissing some bloke, and that was kind of that was it. I thought, no, I'm getting out of here. Just yeah, I don't know. It was my tipping point for leaving. A couple of things happened previous to that. I was looking for a job. First of all, I overheard his mum talking on the phone to his sister, the one in England. This is pretty much what I heard her say. He seems to think he can live here forever. In a different accent. He seems to think he can live here forever. Now, I know she wasn't talking about Andre, because she'd have had Andre living there forever. She definitely would, her little boy. So she wasn't talking about her husband either. And it wasn't about any of the greyhounds, so I'm pretty sure it was me. Could have been about the budgie, it's a chance, but probably about me. There's an old saying, don't ever eavesdrop, because you'll never hear anything nice about yourself. So yeah, maybe that was there's some truth in that one on that occasion. So that happened as well, just prior to me, seeing my friend's cousin kissing. And I think a couple of days before that, I'd gone to look to get a job, and because I'd worked in a meat storage place, his mum said, "Oh, try this place." So I went along, got an interview. It was an abattoir. That's not a suitable job for me. Just no. And it took me around and what I would need to do, and I was like, no, I said I was putting labels on boxes. That's what I did. Boxes of frozen meat. I couldn't. That wasn't, I know people do it, and it wasn't not my thing. So it's getting a little bit harder. It's not a lot of opportunities. The other place was dry cleaners, big dry cleaners, and that didn't seem. I just saw this bird. Looks like a peregrine falcon or something. So this dry cleaners was not ideal either. There didn't seem to be anything that was really suitable for me at the time. And then I went and had a look at a place that I was going to move into with Andre, because we were looking, not actively looking around, but that was before I heard I didn't realise his mum wanted me out of there, and that's when I thought, okay, you want me out, I'll get out. And I left that day. Phoned up, got a ferry booked, and I said, right, I'm going, see ya. Andre was very upset. Everyone else was cheering. I think the whole town was celebrating, but Andre was upset, and he didn't really forgive me for leaving, to be honest. So I came back. I also got food poisoning. I had a bad beer, and I was ill, and whatever it was, I was ill for quite a while. And I came back. I regretted it. I regretted sort of leaving, not giving it more of a go. And then I went and visited again, probably about March time, maybe April the next year, maybe May, April. It was just before the Eurovision Song Contest, and that was recently, so it's now the end of May. So maybe it was in May. Went and visited it, stayed with, at this point, my other friend was living there. So I stayed with him and Andre. They were all living together. So I stayed with him. So Andre, his sister, and my other friend. At this point, Andre was just. If he was off the rails when he was in London, this is nothing compared to by the time I'd left. He was just drinking a lot. But at one point it was quite weird because we were all out. He got a little bit handsy with me, and he pushed me against the wall, sort of saying, "You are my best friend." And the people were trying to intervene, and I said, "No, leave it, don't. It's fine." And we just had a little chat. So he hadn't really forgiven me for leaving him, but it wasn't, it didn't turn nasty or anything, and he still said goodbye to me when I left and hugged me and that. But yeah, it was I don't know. So I don't know, would it have been right to stay there? Hard to tell. I mean, it's a beautiful country. It's just, I don't know, just at the time, I would have been, if I'd have had a bit of money, had my own place, had a bit of space, bit of time to figure out what I was going to be able to do, it might have been, I mean, I possibly would have ended up getting married, having kids, have a normal life, much more normal than I've had. Maybe, or I might have gone down a different route. So, down the drinking route, and I kind of did a bit anyway in my 30s, but I wasn't socially That was in private. Private. So yeah, I think Ireland is a beautiful country, and I'd like to go back. I do have 2 friends that live in Ireland. I would like to visit. Yeah, I would, but we'll see. One day. Kate asks me. So that was Karina. Kate's. Do you and Vinny ever visit Logie? No, I haven't seen Logie since he left. There's like a buzzard or something right above the tree. Keeps coming into the little area of sky that I could see, but I think it's a buzzard, or it's a peregrine falcon, or it's not a golden eagle, but it's something right up there, and it's kind of this hovering, very beautiful. No, I don't see Logie. Vinny hasn't. Neither of us have seen Logie since he left. But he's doing well. I've heard things, and it seems to be fine. He's living in a family. He escaped from where he was living. He was an escape artist, and he ended up back in the hostel. But he's managed to got a new family, and they I'm sure he's very happy. He loves being around people, and yeah. So it's all kind of ended up. He just wanted I think he wanted a peaceful life. He loves a cuddle, loves being around people. He just wants a peaceful life. That's, go for a walk, 1 walk a day, just to get out. Have food, have water, just chill out. That was Logie. Jonathan asks, how tall are you? 6'4". I know it might not look like that, but what that means is that everyone else around me is much taller than they realise. They're taller than they think. In fact, some of them are like 7'3". I don't know. I'm kind of, my whole life, well, since the age of 16, I suppose, I've been 5'8", and then I got measured a year or so ago, and they said 5'9". They said you've got 5'9" on your thing. I said, but I thought it was 5'8". And she said, we can measure you again. I said, no, it's fine. I'll take 5'9". So, according to my official documents, my medical record, I'm 5'9". But if they went back, they'd see that I was 5'8" every other time. So I don't know. It's a bit weird. I thought you're supposed to shrink with age, not get taller. What else? Ali asks me, do you have any recommendations or advice to someone who's wanting to start their own podcast? Don't do it. No. Also, I see you have a lot of questions already, so totally don't mind you skipping this one. Oh, no, it's fine. I'll answer this one, Ali. I've got practical recommendations or whatever. I mean, I would say sign up with a podcast host. You can use free stuff, but it's worth paying even like a £10 a month podcast fee to have one. There's a few that you can use. It depends how many podcasts you're going to be doing a week or a month, or if you're going to be doing a lot of podcasts, then there's some podcast hosts that aren't going to be suitable because they're limited. They might be limited to how many podcasts you can upload. They might be limited to how many people can listen. Spreaker's got no limitations, although they do increase the prices depending on how many podcasts you've got. And SoundCloud is, they've got a free account on SoundCloud. I think they've got a free one on Spreaker, but you'll get a very minimum amount of space. Spreaker's quite good to share, especially with like Spotify and stuff like that. Have a subject, have something you're interested in doing, something that you're not going to get bored of, which is weird considering my podcasts are boring. But I don't get bored of being boring because to me I'm not boring. There's a poem there somewhere, isn't there? Do something that you're going to be doing for fun, in the sense of so you'll enjoy it. I like doing the Let Me Bore Your Pain Away. Now, chronic pain, some would say, is not a fun topic, but it's something that I'm interested in, and so I have fun making them. So I haven't made one for a couple of weeks, I don't think. I have to be in the proper mood, So do something that you're going to enjoy. That would be my advice. I don't know if you're looking for practical suggestions. Find a decent podcast host. There's lots of ways of making images as well. Just do it. If you want for equipment, there's a lot of equipment out there now which you can use, which is quite easy. You can have stuff connected to your phone. You can have, or you can get it's lots of different ways to, to do the audio, and if you want to make a video as well. I'd say just go for it and see if you like it. It might change your life, It might be something that you really love doing. It might help you in some ways, emotionally. It depends what you're doing. Yeah. I don't know. Just thinking advice if someone wanted to start their own podcast. It's weird. I can't remember what it was like, because for me, I didn't start a podcast because podcasting wasn't really a thing when I started. It was, for me, because I was uploading audio recordings and videos onto MySpace, so I wasn't doing podcasting. YouTube wasn't a thing at that time. Facebook wasn't a thing, or at least it wasn't popular at that time, because Facebook basically closed MySpace down, really. But I was with MySpace, so I was uploading audios, hypnosis audios and hypnosis videos. And then YouTube came along and I started putting my videos on YouTube as well as MySpace. Because with MySpace, you could upload the stuff, so they stored it. And then I started using a free podcast host, or whatever I think it was called, free podcast host, in probably 2007, maybe 2006. Maybe it was, but So I started using podcasts. I started using lots of different podcasts, but that was the main one I used. And so I guess I didn't start out as a podcast. All I did was just, podcasts were just another way for me to present the audio. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of, I used it as I was already making videos before YouTube came out. Before YouTube was a thing, I was making videos already. So I was already making, it's weird because when I uploaded my videos to YouTube, I didn't know that anybody else made videos on YouTube. But there were other people. I wasn't the only one. So I started YouTube 2007, and there was other people doing it. So it's weird that like people had the same kind of idea at the same time. But there's only a handful of us. Really, it was only a real small amount. And anyone listening or watching this from that time who used to follow my videos, you'll know what I'm saying is true. You will know. I don't know why I'm doing that for. So just go for it and have fun. That's what I would say. Hope asks, what got you interested in hypnosis? It was a couple of things to start with. I don't know why, but I was going through this little period at the end of 2000, at the end of 1997, and just had a bit of a very, very problematic period in my life. Lost my job, lost my girlfriend, pretty much had to move, had no, everything kind of went, and then there was a family thing, really big family thing happened, and I was lost, so lost at that time. And the only thing I had, I was writing, so I was writing down how I felt and stuff. So that kind of helped. And then I started listening to audiobooks, self-help audiobooks, reading self-help books to try and help me get through that period. So when I was going and buying these audiobooks and looking at these self-help books, I started noticing hypnosis books. And for me, it was kind of like very spelly, very kind of magic-y, like a script almost seemed a little bit like a magic spell. And so I was looking at these books thinking, I didn't know you could learn this. I don't know how I thought hypnotists became hypnotists if they didn't learn. But I just thought, it just grabbed my slight interest. And I'd never ever had an interest before outside of just watching it on TV in the early 90s. And I thought, I don't know why. And there was these two particular books, and I used to look at them. One was an introduction to hypnosis. Another one was hypnosis for beginners or something. So it was two. One was green, one was, I think it was orange. I kept putting them back in the same bookshop, and I'd go there every week, and I kept putting them back. I'd read a little bit more, and I kept putting them back. And this went on for months. And I'd go and buy other stuff, and as I said, I was really into audiobooks because I could listen to them while I walked around and stuff, so that kind of suited me. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, and Anthony Robbins, and all that stuff. Zig Ziglar. And then, Vinny just barked then. And then, after months of just thinking about these books, Calm down, Vin. I just thought, oh, so it's January 1998. I bought them. I mean, they were worn out by the time. I must have read them probably by the time I bought them. But I thought, okay. Because I had these like fantasies of buying them, and I was like, why do I want to buy these 2 books? I'm not interested in hypnosis. I don't know anything about hypnosis. Vinny, don't bark, please. Please. He's like that on his back. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, anyone think that it's like, you don't want to do anything, am I? I'm just asking you to be quiet. Blimey. Said it. Blimey. I don't know why. I just felt I needed to buy these books. Bought them, read them. Didn't read them straight away. Now, I can't really express how much I love books. I still love books. I mean, I've only got a small book collection now, but most of those books are hypnosis books. I love books. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I love them. I think my probably ideal job would have been working in a bookshop. That's probably what I should have done as a younger man. That probably I should, shoulda, woulda. Ideally, and I don't know why I didn't even think about it, bearing in mind how much I've always loved books since being a small child, since I kind of taught myself to read. I taught myself. I did also go to school, but I had this one book. I still can't find it. It's on there somewhere. It's a Jackanory book, and I read it over and over and over and over and over again. And it's the only thing that I was ever, I'm not saying any good at, but competent at, that I could do. That I could actually say, yeah, I can read. I don't understand all the words I read. I still don't understand all the words I read, but I do check what they are, and you can tell from the meaning, from the structure of the sentence or the paragraph, what the word means, providing the person that's writing that paragraph knows what the word means. They might put a wrong word in, but yeah. So I got these books home. I didn't touch them to start with. I just looked at them. Again, I don't know why I had them. And then I started reading them, and something happened in me. So I don't know what it was. Just maybe I kind of felt, well, the way I talk kind of matches what I would I don't know, I notice sometimes people would kind of glaze over when I talk to them, and I noticed this, and I didn't realise that I was sort of putting them into a trance. This is before I even read a hypnosis book. Happened to a counsellor. Counsellor fell asleep when I was talking. It's true. I'm not even lying. It's a Saturday morning. I was having counselling, trauma counselling, can you believe? And she was a student, and she fell asleep. Her eyes were started glazing, and her eyelids closed. And this is before I even knew what hypnosis was. I'd not even read a book, didn't know the first thing about it. This was the summer 97, I think, or late summer. So yeah, that was weird. Very strange. And I noticed that other people were having that, and also noticed that sometimes if I talk to someone and I just keep talking, not fast, but just keep talking, and make the sentence keep lasting in a way that it kind of never ends. The sentence never ends, and which means the person can't sort of talk, say something themselves, and it's, I don't know, it's a bit weird, the reaction I was getting, and I started playing with it. I started testing it out with people. Vinny, please, why are you banging? You see the camera? He's banging the camera the stand. He knows he's doing it. I'm pretty sure he's doing it on purpose. He's purposely moved himself over there to bang the camera so it wobbles. I'm pretty sure he is. He's a very naughty boy. He's very cheeky. He is. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. Just, I found it interesting, and the most thing that I found most interesting of all was the pain relief. Out of anything, that was a thing. Nothing else really grabbed me the way that that did. The idea to be able to take away someone's pain. I mean, wow. What could be better than that? And Vinny's just done the biggest fart. I think it's him. Did you do, Vinny? Did you just do the biggest fart? He always aims his bum at me. Whenever he lays down, ever it's in the bed, never had his face in him. It's always his bum faced at me, ready for it. So when he lets it off, I get to smell it and he doesn't. He's got his eyes wide open, haven't you? Eh? So, yeah, that's how I kind of got into hypnosis. And then I started buying books. Then I started... Yeah, then I got some... And I kind of moved and started finding out about NLP. Got books on NLP. Then I did training in NLP. Then I did training in hypnosis. And continued the purchasing and getting hypnosis books right the way up to about 2013. So from 1998 to 2013, I was purchasing hypnosis books. I had a very, very good collection. I lost all of those books, but I did have a really good collection. I also had training videos, training DVDs, training audios, really out of print books as well. Some of the ones that I bought in, 99, 2000 that weren't in print anymore. You couldn't get them. In fact, you could get them, but they were expensive on Amazon or eBay. But I think for me, I like just studying it. I like the idea of being good at it, but without testing. So during 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, doing trainings, I was buying and reading lots of books, even making recordings for myself. I did a little bit of relaxation stuff for some friends, some pain relief for my nan, but outside of that I didn't ever test it with the public. And it's only 2006 when I started doing that. I was kind of pushed into it by a friend who called my bluff. But I've talked about that in the past, and it was just, I didn't want to do it. I was quite happy just to read the books and kind of fantasize that maybe I could be good at it, rather than actually do anything. And then, in 2006, I also started making audios and videos. The reason I started making audios is because I was volunteering at a alcohol charity, and I was doing these group sessions 2 a week, or one on a Friday, I think 1 a week at the time, on a Friday. And someone said, can you not, it's not enough, once a week isn't enough, isn't there any way of getting a recording of this? So the charity and me got together and we made some CDs. They went so quickly, and the charity couldn't really afford to keep making new CDs. What I did is I taped a recording, and we printed it onto a CD. So I thought, okay, what's the solution for this? I had my website, and I started putting my recordings on my website where you could download them or stream. I can't remember if you could stream them at the time or download them. And then I discovered MySpace. So I started uploading the audios to MySpace from the live sessions. So I started recording the live sessions every time I did one. These live group sessions. And I was doing it also at a drug rehab centre as well, a few months later. Until the end of until the end of 2007. Yeah, that's it. And I started making videos. I thought, well, I'm doing the audios to MySpace, I can do videos. So I try that. Use the webcam from the laptop. Terrible picture. And not that this one's much better. Blimey, look at me. Look at my eyes. They look so blue next to the red of my face. I think the videos, I had one video that reached about 10,000 views. I think that was the chronic pain one. It's like, wow. And the thing about MySpace is I'm not sure if I ever had one negative review. People were so supportive on MySpace. It's a shame that place just didn't continue, because it was a really nice space. Really was. It's kind of like MySpace, really. No, it was a nice place. And then Facebook came along, YouTube came along. So YouTube took all the videos. YouTube was a place for the videos to be. MySpace started to just dwindle down when Facebook came along again. So you had somewhere to post your YouTube videos, or you had someone to post your videos, and then somewhere that you could have social interactions with people. And Facebook was the new place for that, and everyone kind of just went over there. And then, as I said earlier, I started using a podcast for the audio. So I really didn't use MySpace at all after a little while, which is a shame. But that's kind of how this progressed. I focused mainly on the YouTube videos for up to about 2013 and 2007. But I did also have podcasts, but they were kind of not secondary, but it was, I'd make the video and then I'd extract the audio and put that on a podcast. Sometimes I'd do a video, audio just on its own, but quite often it would just be the video, and then I'd extract that. So I'd be focusing more on the video aspect, things on YouTube. And then probably I moved here 2015, started doing more recordings, audios, did some videos and stuff. Hadn't done many videos for a while, for a couple of years. And I haven't been steady with videos really. I've got through little periods. the audios, I think 2018 really kicked in. I started putting more effort and doing them a lot more regular in 2018. Once I started doing the Let Me Bore You to Sleep. And since then I've done thousands of recordings. And it is, it's sort of grown, I guess, from there. But I like to think, in a way, even though I'm not really, don't really do hypnosis anymore, not really, I kind of do and I don't. I like to think that I incorporate what I learn. So when I do the Let Me Bore Your Pain Away, I'm still using techniques, and I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's about trying to, instead of adapting myself, because what I was trying to do before is adapting myself to the hypnosis. Now I just adapt the hypnosis to myself. So I try and use whatever has been absorbed into my brain and hope for the best, I suppose. I don't know. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. So I have answered every question. There was nine questions. So thank you very much, everyone. So I was going to say thank you to everyone, all that's answered, to ask. So Hillary, Sandy, Michelle, Karina, or Corina, I'm sure it's Karina, Kate, Jonathan, Ali, and Hope. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go now. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. Lots of love. Bye.